Today's news. Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety releases statement on Supreme Court decision on Aynullah Fatullayev. Candidate sues District Electoral Committee for election violations. International conference held on 15th anniversary of Azerbaijan Constitution. Nemet Pahanli rejects legitimacy of new parliament. The Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety deems yesterday's ruling on Aynullah Fatulayev's case by the Azerbaijani Supreme Court as a blow to the European judiciary system. Their statement says, before the Supreme Court considered the European Court of Human Rights' ruling for Fatulayev's immediate release, they first heard the public prosecutor's illegal request for a 2-month extension of Fatulayev's sentence for tax evasion. The ruling on the tax evasion case was passed in 2007, alongside other charges, threatening terror and the incitement of religious and national hatred. The sentence for tax evasion was set at 2 months and added to these other charges, giving a total sentence of 8.5 years. The plenary meeting reviewed this request and sentenced the journalist to 2 years and 2 months imprisonment under the tax evasion charge. The plenary meeting considers this term already served because the journalist has been in prison for more than 3 years. He remains in prison because of the drug possession charges of July 2009. The plenary meeting upheld the ECHR ruling that the charges of threatening terror and inciting hatred were false. However, Fatullayev has not been released because of the Appeals Court November 5, 2010 decision to sentence him to pre-trial detention for drug possession. IRFS believes that the authorities deliberately planted drugs in the journalist's clothing in anticipation of the ECHR's ruling for his release. IRFS calls on the Azerbaijani authorities to stop these human rights violations. IRFS also calls on the authorities to immediately release journalist Aynullah Fatullayev and the youth bloggers Emin Abdullayev and Adnan Hajizadeh. Today, the Baku Entertainment Center held an international conference on the protection mechanisms of human rights and freedoms dedicated to the 15th anniversary of Azerbaijan's constitution. Azerbaijan National Assembly Chairman's First Deputy, the Prosecutor General, the Supreme Court Chairman, the Minister of Justice, representatives of various international organizations, and foreign country constitutional court representatives all attended the conference. The conference was organized by Azerbaijan's Constitutional Court, Azerbaijan's Lawyer Confederation, and the European Council Commission. Keeping Azerbaijan's constitution secular and the constitution's embracing of human rights and freedoms were both emphasized in speeches given at the conference. Every citizen is obliged to respect the constitution and state structure, said Constitutional Court Chairman Farhad Abdullayev. The conference participants discussed the fact that Azerbaijan entered the European law system after the adoption of this new constitution. Azerbaijani citizen rights are protected within the constitution and international law documents, said National Assembly Chairman First Deputy Ziafat Asgarov. The protection of human rights and freedoms in Austria, Turkey, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Germany and Moldova were all discussed. Today at the Media Centre, Gadabai constituency candidate Yagana Amarislanova held a press conference on election violations. Amarislanova called this election a betrayal of the state and of the Gadabai voters. Though the winning candidate, Sevim Husseinova, is from the ruling party, Amarislanova claimed that the president had not been aware of the election fraud. She reported a number of violations, the counting of voting papers outside of the constituency, ballot stuffing, physical and psychological pressure on voters, observers and journalists, multiple vote casting, and a prevalence of ruling party propaganda. Amarislanova said that she had been the true winner of the constituency seat, and that the election constituency commission members had intentionally spoiled voting papers and thus rendered them invalid. She also claimed that voters had been given cash bribes to vote for the YAP candidate. Allegedly, this happened right in front of the polling station. Amarislanova declared that she would be suing the District Electoral Committee number 103 for election fraud. Parliamentary candidate Nemet Panali from the Yasamal First Constituency Election Commission No. 15 calls upon Azerbaijani citizens to reject the legitimacy of the new parliament and to refuse to recognize the political authority. Today, at the IRFS Press Centre, he said that Azerbaijan lacks any political figure to lead a national movement and to fight for the country's independence. The ruling party appointed to parliament only those who are ready to endorse any decision made by the presidential administration and to unanimously ratify any agreement with Armenia. The ruling party authority did not risk appointing Hafiz Hajiev to parliament for fear that he would protest against the peaceful charter on the Karabakh conflict. Thus parliament has been filled with unprincipled people like Leader TV channel employees Etabar Husseinov and Sahib Aliyev, said Panali.